It started with a single punchline on Saturday Night Live. All the UK wants in the new trade deal is for America to keep Harry and Meghan. The audience howled, but seconds later the internet exploded. Old yacht photos that looked eerily like Meghan Markle resurfaced. Reddit detectives spun frantic side-by-sides, and the hashtag #YachtGirl rocketed past 100,000 posts in 2 days. Yet from Montecito, absolute silence. No denial, no lawsuit, just the sound of a PR empire holding its breath. Tonight, we're tracing that shockwave, from one late-night zinger to a full-blown image crisis, separating verified fact from high-octane rumor, and asking the question Buckingham Palace won't touch. Is Meghan's past finally catching up with her, or are we watching the most ruthless smear campaign of the decade? Buckle up, the receipts and the contradictions are coming fast. Saturday Night Live hadn't even rolled its credits before social feeds began to rupture. Colin Jost's trade deal zinger, "All Britain wants is for America to keep Harry and Meghan," landed at 11:36 p.m. Eastern, and within 10 minutes, the hashtags Keep Them and YachtGirl were trending in tandem on X. Users clipped the moment, looped it, and layered it with side-eye emojis. Royal Watch TikTokers pushed instant reaction videos that clocked 500,000 views before dawn. By breakfast, the Daily Mail had spun up a sidebar, Variety ran a breakdown of the burn, and even People, normally Sussex-friendly, called the joke noticeably pointed. What made the laugh line lethal was its timing. Jost dropped it on Mother's Day weekend, the very night before Meghan posted that sweet Montecito snapshot hugging Archie and Lily. Instead of the usual swoon fest, replies filled with memes of private jets blaring, "We want privacy," and screen grabs of South Park's worldwide privacy tour episode. Archewell's press team maintained radio silence, but insiders whispered to Page 6 that Montecito phones lit up like a Christmas tree as staff scrambled to gauge the blowback. Commentators who'd defended the couple for years suddenly cracked jokes of their own. Because if SNL feels safe dunking on you, the cultural tide has already shifted. And the most ominous sign? Overnight, Reddit sleuths began digging hard. They weren't dissecting the punchline. They were hunting for proof behind a rumor that had been smoldering for years. By sunrise, they'd latched onto a single phrase, "YachtGirl." But that was only the spark. Next came the gasoline. Within 48 hours of Jost's joke, screenshots of a sun-bleached super yacht began ricocheting through Reddit threads and Telegram chats. In each frame, flutes of crystal, a circle of well-tailored power brokers, and a woman whose profile looked alarmingly like Meghan's. No outlet has authenticated the images, and Buckingham Palace archivists insist no such trip appears on official itineraries. Still, amateur sleuths pored over EXIF data, cross-matched freckle patterns, even measured earlobe angles. One TikTok forensic account claimed a 93% facial recognition match. Another traced a gold infinity knuckle ring to a 2014 Instagram post Meghan once liked, now deleted. None of this proves she was ever on Epstein's boat, as conspiracists allege, but it wrecked the wholesome timeline. How does an actress preaching empowerment end up sunning beside hedge fund titans in Saint-Tropez long before she knew Harry? Even friendly tabloids began using careful phrasing like "reports claim" and "photos purport to show." Meghan's camp issued zero denials, and that vacuum let the rumor metastasize. But if the yacht pictures cracked her fairy tale veneer, the next revelation about vanished friends and vanishing posts threatened to shatter it completely. The yacht snapshots were only the spark. The real gasoline gushed in when sleuths noticed how many traces of Meghan's pre-royal life had quietly evaporated. Entire Instagram albums from her Tig blog era, sun-drenched brunches with Silicon Valley venture capitalists, backstage selfies at networking summits, were suddenly 404 ghosts. LinkedIn endorsements from lifestyle branding consultants vanished overnight. A former suit stylist's photo dump, once captioned Summer 14 Santorini, now opens to content removed at the author's request. At first, it looked like routine housekeeping. Every celebrity scrubs a feed now and then, but then the pattern sharpened. Anyone linked to the yacht set went mute. A Toronto makeup artist who'd gushed about Meg's Mediterranean weekend closed her Twitter. 2 LA publicists locked down their accounts the same week the yacht rumor trended. Even Abigail Spencer, once Meghan's red carpet ride or die, sidestepped press requests with a curt, no comment. Industry insiders whispered about frantic late-night calls from Montecito. Either remove the post or sign the NDA. Your choice. The harder Archewell's crisis team pressed delete, the faster hashtags like Meghan memory hole and where did the Tig go climbed. Suddenly, the story wasn't just, was she on that yacht? It was, why is she erasing half her 20s? And every scrubbed photo only confirmed what critics had suspected. If the pristine narrative required so much bleach, what stains were they so desperate to hide? But scrubbing the internet couldn't scrub Prince Harry's growing unease, and his silence was about to become louder than any PR rollout. For years, Harry was the smiling co-pilot in Meghan's rebrand jet, telling the world he'd finally found freedom. But insiders now whisper the cabin lights have flipped to turbulence. Palace contacts say he's missing Zoom briefings, ducking strategy calls, and retreating into the Montecito guest house with nothing but audiobooks and tequila. Friends who once heard daily voice notes now get unread double blue ticks. The shift began the night those yacht photos exploded on Reddit. Staffers claim Harry walked into the kitchen at 2 a.m., phone in hand, white as the marble countertop. Tell me this isn't real. No one could. Within 24 hours, he'd canceled 2 podcast pitches, excused himself from a veterans charity gala, and skipped the family FaceTime that doubles as Archie's bedtime ritual. Behind closed doors, the couple's united front is fraying. During a recent Archewell planning session, one witness says Harry sat silent while Meghan laid out a positivity pivot, more lifestyle content, more philanthropic reels, zero mention of yachts. When a brand advisor floated the phrase, radical transparency, Harry reportedly muttered, maybe we should start with ourselves, then left the room. His private circle sees the telltale signs: nervous pacing, late-night calls to old army mates, even tentative feelers toward reopening communication with Charles, something unthinkable 6 months ago. And royal courtiers, ever gleeful, are leaking that Harry's requests to visit the UK solo were met with polite enthusiasm. Doors open, one aide quipped, but perhaps leave the cameras in California. To the public, Harry's silence is deafening, but inside Montecito, it's echoing off every wall. Because when the brand you helped build starts crumbling, there are only 2 exits: double down or bail out. And lately, the prince who once scorched every bridge for love looks like a man scanning for life rafts. Yet even as Harry pulls back, Meghan's PR machine is revving a brand new engine, one that could either rescue their empire or torch it completely. When the yacht shots hit the timeline, Meghan's usual playbook, swift statement, lawyer's letter, controlled interview, never arrived. At first, the quiet felt poised. 48 hours later, it felt panicked. And in that vacuum, amateur detectives found purpose. TikTok sleuths ran facial recognition overlays on every archived Monaco weekend gallery. Redditors mapped deleted Instagram tags to party guest lists from Cannes 2014. Each new thread drilled the same question: if it's fake, why erase it? Then came the social purge. A former Suits stylist's beach selfie, gone. A Soho House PR exec's best weekend ever carousel, scrubbed. Even college friends who once gushed about Meg on Facebook quietly set profiles to private. Whisper networks claim NDAs were dispatched like Uber Eats, demanding silence on personal history prior to 2016. The harder her camp tried to hoover the past, the louder the internet shouted cover-up. Brands noticed. A wellness drink collab paused, pending optics. Netflix execs reportedly asked for assurances before greenlighting her next series. And the most awkward blow? Spotify's data leak showing her podcast retention rate plummeting the very week YachtGate trended. The message was brutal. Audiences will stomach many things. Hypocrisy isn't one of them. But the real bomb is still ticking. Because while Meghan's scrubbing search results, documentary producers are lining up former insiders, people who kept screenshots before the Great Wipe. And when those voices hit streaming platforms, the story could shift from rumor to record. Next up, the comeback gambit, Meghan's last-ditch rebrand, and the nuclear option insiders say she's ready to deploy. With sponsors skittish and Harry allegedly retreating into noise-canceling solitude, Meghan's crisis team has pulled the emergency lever, full-scale rebrand. First move? Flood the zone with wholesome visuals. Expect a paparazzi accidental shoot of her ladling soup at a shelter, a capsule clothing drop for mental health charities, and, yes, Another baby goats in Montecito photo set timed for maximum algorithm lift. But insiders say the real Hail Mary isn't Instagram optics, it's litigation. Sources at 2 British tabloids claim Archewell lawyers are drafting preemptive suits against any streamer that airs unauthorized biographical content. Translation: threaten everyone from niche podcasters to Netflix doc crews with 7-figure damages unless they blur faces, mute names, or scrap segments entirely. It's scorched earth PR. Silence the leaks or bankrupt the leakers. Parallel track: the human shield strategy. Meghan is rumored to be courting A-list allies. Oprah follow-up, a Gloria Steinem panel, maybe even a cameo at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, to recenter the conversation on sexism and media harassment. The logic is brutal but effective. Make any critic look like they're attacking women's rights, not questioning yacht photos. And then there's the nuclear option. 2 Montecito staffers whisper she's willing to release everything about royal life. Private texts, audio notes, security logs, if the palace even hints at disowning her publicly over YachtGate. Think Spare 2.0 on steroids, aimed straight at Buckingham's foundations. One aide supposedly warned, if she pushes that button, the crown will bleed. Yet every escalation carries risk. Each lawsuit invites discovery. Each loyalty pledge cameo reminds audiences she has connections, not authenticity. And should the palace call her bluff, the trove she's hoarded could backfire, exposing more about her own maneuvering than the firm's misdeeds. Bottom line, Meghan's empire is teetering on an image that can't take another tremor. This rebrand could cement her as a phoenix or prove the ashes were always spray-painted gold. Looks like the showdown between perception and proof is only heating up. So here we are. A Duchess-turned-mogul facing the same question every carefully curated brand eventually meets. When the edits peel away, is the story still strong enough to stand? Whether you believe Meghan's silence is strategic genius, or the sound of a narrative collapsing under its own weight, one thing's certain: the internet just pressed rewind. The palace is hovering over the mute button, and late-night TV has popcorn on standby. If the next move is a glossy comeback tour, we'll be here. For every staged photo op, every sudden lawsuit, every not-so-subtle podcast plea. If the past really does spill, we'll cover that too. Because in the age of screenshots and subreddit sleuths, no vault stays locked forever. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the fallout, the pivot, or the possible phoenix rise. Drop your takes below. Credibility crisis, misogynistic smear, or something messier nobody's named yet? And tell us, does the brand survive the backstory? Or does the yacht finally sink the crown? Thanks for watching, and remember, the real tea is only one notification away.